All right, what's up, Saints fans? Want to get straight into today's show. We're talking Alvin Kamara and the legal updates that just came out and were just made known. So this coming in from David Charnes. He's been tweeting and keeping us updated throughout the Alvin Kamara legal situation. And he tweeted out that New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara agrees to plead no contest to misdemeanor charges of breach of peace for Las Vegas nightclub beating. He will have to do community service and pay $100,000 to victim Darnell Green for medical bills per Kyle J. Payne. So, guys, before we kind of break down today's news, before we kind of get into today's reaction and kind of get into more information regarding the situation, I want you to sound off for me. What's your one-word reaction to the news of Alvin Kamara? He's pleading no contest. Legal situation is done. What this means now is the NFL can hand out a punishment soon. So, guys, let me know what your one-word reaction is of the Alvin Kamara news, and let's keep breaking down this legal update. So, the civil case settled on confidential terms between Darnell Green and Alvin Kamara, and this was confirmed by Tony Busby on his Instagram page. He said, "We were proud to represent Darnell Green in the case of Darnell Green versus Alvin Kamara, and can now announce that this matter has settled on confidential terms. As part of the settlement, Kamara signed the following public apology." We'll show you guys what he said here in just a second. But the felony charge is going away. The NFL can now hand out a punishment, which I will get to what my prediction of a punishment will be here at the end of the video. And he was previously charged with conspiracy to commit battery and battery resulting in substantial bodily harm. So that's what we knew. That's kind of the update around what was going on. And so the civil settlement is this, like we said a little bit ago. 30 hours of community service, you pay a $500 fine, and then he's going to pay out the medical expenses of $105,196.17. So that's just kind of the update. That's what the immediate stuff and the immediate information is. We have more to get to. And I'm also going to show you guys what Alvin Kamara said in his statement. And this was what Tony Busby did post on his Instagram page. He said, "Please," and this is Alvin Kamara's statement, saying, or a formal apology. "Dear Mr. Green, please accept my sincere apologies for the events of February 5th, 2022 in Las Vegas. I'm happy that we were able to get on the other side of this unfortunate incident, and I wish you the best of the future." And that was to Darnell Green. So that is what the information is. That was the apology. That was the statement coming in from Alvin Kamara. Tony Busby posted that. And so as for suspension, because a suspension is still in the shadows. He could still miss some time this year. And again, I don't think it's going to be anything absolutely crazy. I don't think it's going to be like 8-10 games. But a suspension could still happen. And here's the NFL's disciplinary decision statement and kind of just how they make their decisions. With regard to violations of the personal conduct policy that involved 1, criminal assault or battery with felony, 2, domestic, and also I want you to, hone in on that felony aspect of things here. Not that Alvin Kamara is a felon, but hone in on that here in just a second. 2, domestic violence, dating violence, child abuse, and other forms of family violence. Or 3, sexual assault involving physical force or committed against someone incapable of giving consent. A first 7 PCP LCP 2018 offense will subject the offender to a baseline suspension without pay of 6 games, with consideration given to any aggravating or mitigating factors. The presence of possible aggravating factors may warrant a longer suspension. And here's the NFL's statement on this whole Alvin Kamara situation. Said, "We have been closely monitoring all developments in the matter, which remains under review." Now, it's now over. It's now the legal process is played out. A suspension could be coming sooner rather than later. And guys, this is why you subscribe. You need to lock us in so that way you can get updates and information around Alvin Kamara. Because like I said, it's a suspension. Let's just see. Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry guys, had to get off track here. But we like to have some fun. We like to provide you guys entertaining and informative analysis around the New Orleans Saints. And we're also going to stay on top of all of the updates and the news around an Alvin Kamara suspension. So guys, lock us in, turn on your notifications. We like to have some fun here, entertaining and informative analysis by Saints fans for Saints fans. So let's break down what this means. With charges dropped to a misdemeanor, the suspension might be lighter. And if you remember in the disciplinary decisions statement, it said that the personal conduct policy that involves criminal assault or battery, which is felony. So this is a misdemeanor charge. Now, we should know what the punishment is in the next few weeks. As we all know, training camp is about to start. Alvin Kamara will be there. He should be moving around. He should be doing stuff. But let's keep it real. It's not the end of the world that the Saints do have to miss some time with Alvin Kamara because they added a bunch of running back depth and very quality running back depth in both free agency and in the NFL draft. And I've shown this graphic before, but I'm going to show it again. And once we get actual Saints pictures, we'll update these pictures so that way they can be all black and gold. But calling them the Holy Trinity. Y'all know the Cajun Holy Trinity. This is the Saints Holy Trinity. Alvin Kamara, he didn't do a ton last year. Pete Carmichael did not use him correctly. It was kind of a mess. It was pretty ugly. And at the end of the day, I don't think anybody was really too pleased with Alvin Kamara's production last year. However, Jamal Williams, leading the league in rushing touchdowns with 17, had over 1,000 yards. Kendre Miller was a big part of that Horned Frogs offense that made it to a college football national championship. 1,399 yards on the ground, 17 touchdowns on the ground as well. And he is working on some of his pass catching ability. So too is Jamal Williams. So these are all things that I think will benefit the Saints. And I truly do believe that this running back trio will be elite. And then the duo of Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller can be sufficient and work very well as well. So my thoughts real quick on Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller individually. Jamal Williams, I truly do believe, has the ability to be a workhorse during a potential suspension. He led the league last year in rushing touchdowns. He's a downhill runner. He knows how to put his nose down and get you those extra couple yards. However, we've seen him in OTAs. We've seen him at minicamp working with Derek Carr, working on that pass-catching ability. He's working a ton with Alvin Kamara, and that's Kamara's biggest, one of his biggest strengths is having the ball in open field and getting down the field. And I think that Jamal Williams will be able to learn a lot from Alvin Kamara throughout practices, training camp, and all sorts of stuff. And then as for Kendre Miller, I think that this could actually benefit Miller as well because he really does need meaningful reps with very little pressure. And this will allow the Saints to do that because you'll be able to get him real reps and consistent reps those first 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, however long his suspension is. You'll be able to get some reps and you'll be able to get meaningful reps with Kendre Miller, but there's not going to be a ton of pressure on him later in the season to be like, well, you are the true RB2. You have to figure it out. If injuries, things kind of happen and stuff, but I think that Kendre Miller, this is actually beneficial for him as well. So I want you to take a guess for me, Saints fans, who's going to have the better year? Obviously, Kamara is going to face a suspension, but could he still have a crazy statistical season with a better quarterback and hopefully better play calling? Jamal Williams, I think that he could be a stud. I think he's a sleeper for a lot of people, and if you can get him on your fantasy team, you should definitely do that. Kendre Miller, also a very solid option. I think he's going to be used quite a bit, especially on those second, third, fourth down kind of plays. I think that he's a guy to watch out for, but let me know. Type AK for Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, type JW, or Kendre Miller, type KM. And as you guys venture down to the comment section to share your thoughts, you're going to pass the link anyway, so you might as well go shop for a new jersey. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. We got men's, we got women's, we got home, we got away. We have your favorite players. We have the rookies. We have all sorts of jerseys. If you want a Saints jersey, we got you covered. Use the link down below, chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. The link is available for you in the comment section and the description of today's video. All right, so to round things out, I just kind of want to get out here and just share my thoughts, kind of get my last few takes, my final thoughts, if you will. I think that Derek Carr has plenty of weapons. If an Alvin Kamara suspension goes down, you have plenty of people who can still make the ball go down the field and get touchdowns. Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Brian Edwards, A.T. Perry, Rashid, the need for speed, Shaheed. Alvin Kamara, he's in this list. Let's just slot in Foster Moreau right there. Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller, Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill. And then you also have a plethora of other guys like James Washington, Traquan Smith, and plenty of other players like Shaq Davis that are still fighting for roster spots. So, dear Pete Carmichael, please use Alvin Kamara correctly this season. Please get him the ball in open space. Please utilize the screen game. Sincerely, all Saints fans. I think we can all agree on that, right? I think we can all agree on that, right? And before I get to my prediction of Alvin Kamara's suspension, let me know what you think that he'll get suspended, because I think it's going to be 4 to 6 games. I think that he's going to miss 4 to 6 games this season. I've been saying that throughout this entire legal process. I think that they might try to throw the book at him, so I think the 6 games might be something to watch out for. But it's also, the charges are now misdemeanors, so there's a lesser punishment. So I think that's where the 4 games could come into play. But guys, let me know. And before we head on out of here, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so that way you can get informative and entertaining Saints videos. As always, I'm your host, Trace Gerard. Thank you for tuning into today's video. Y'all stay golden. We'll catch you next time.